Welcome to Beyond the Clinic, the podcast for health professionals ready to transform their expertise into innovative income streams that extend beyond the traditional clinic model. I'm Sarah Armand-Bushell. I'm a registered dietitian and certified business coach and proud owner of 2 successful online businesses. I understand the leap from the security of a regular salary can feel intimidating because I've been there too. But it doesn't have to be scary, and you do not have to do this alone. Here you'll learn tangible strategies to accelerate your business growth. So if you're dreaming of using your expertise to create impact and a life of freedom, then you're in the right place. Welcome along. I'm really glad you're tuning in today because money is one of those topics that a lot of us like to avoid. It's easy to hope that everything just works out. Keep your head down, doing the work you enjoy with your clients, or tell yourself you'll figure your numbers out later. But if you don't get clear on your finances, running a sustainable business becomes a lot harder. So let's do it. Let's talk about money. Specifically, let's talk about how much money you need to be making in your business to make sure you're paying yourself and that your business can run smoothly and support your life. Now, just a quick side note before we dive in, I am by no means an expert in finance. What I am is someone who's been in your shoes, figuring out how to pay myself properly, how to cover business costs and avoid feeling stressed out about money month after month. Over the years, I've learned from some of the very best, and I've helped so many other health professionals like you grow sustainable, thriving businesses. So in this episode, I'm sharing what's worked for me and for my clients. Now, most of us came from the NHS where our salary was set and it just landed in our bank account. We never really had to think about business finances and things like expenses or tax or reinvesting or profit actually. And so for a lot of people, and probably many of you listening, money in business can feel overwhelming at first. You might be asking yourself questions like, well, how much should I be paying myself? When should I even start paying myself? How much money should I be spending and on what? You might feel like you're expected to figure all of this out on your own, and that can bring quite a lot of worry about getting it wrong or making expensive mistakes along the way. So in this episode, I'm going to break it all down for you so that you can feel more confident about your numbers and in control of your money. This episode will help you understand your business expenses, and I'm going to be giving you my suggested percentages for budgeting expenses because it's really helpful to have a clear intention for how your income is structured as money starts coming in. And that way, you're not going to be running blind. You're not going to be constantly stressed about whether you're not making enough each month of the year. Plus, I'm going to show you how to create a simple sales plan that will set your business up for sustainability and growth in 2026. So, let's dive in, shall we? Okay, so the very first step is working out what you actually need to live. So before we talk business, we start with you because your business exists to support your life, remember? So the first question is, how much money do you need to live each month? So if you've got a pen and a piece of paper handy, I want you to literally write this down. Think about things like your mortgage or your rent. Think about things like car payments, food, transport, petrol, your phone, your pension, and any other regular personal costs. Make a list and add all of those things up, and then write your total number of your personal expenses down. So this number becomes what we call your owner's pay, the amount your business needs to generate for you before anything else. Because above all, that's the most important thing. If you're not paying yourself, your business isn't truly supporting you. So always make sure that your personal needs are covered first. Now that you know your owner's pay, the amount you personally need each month to live on, it's time to look at your business baseline costs. In other words, all the things that keep your business functioning smoothly, from tools and systems to any support that you bring in, to marketing costs and ongoing learning. Now, I'm going to break this down differently depending on whether you're newer to business, so I would say earning less than £2,000 per month, or more established, so earning more like £5,000 per month, or even more than that. Because what you spend and should spend needs to change as your business grows. Now, I'm going to give you a rough but helpful breakdown of my suggested percentages for all the different kinds of budgeting expenses that you will have as a business owner. So we're going to look at the owner's pay first. So before we talk about those potential business expenses, let's think about the percentage of your business income that you're paying yourself. So your owner's pay, the money that supports your life, this might be your salary and dividends if you're a limited company, or it might be profit if you are a sole trader. When your owner's pay isn't planned properly, it's very easy to underpay yourself. It's really easy to overwork or to feel constantly anxious about money. So I really do think that this is the very first priority. So let's consider if you're newer to business and you're earning, say, £2,000 a month or less than that. At this stage, your business is still being built and cash flow truly matters. You know what? Simplicity is your best friend. So if this is you, I'd recommend aiming for about 50% of your average monthly income to go towards owner's pay. Yes, if possible, half of what comes in should go back out to you. That way, you're setting yourself up for your business to support you from the very start. And it means you avoid getting into the situation where you're working really hard in your business, but you're never quite paying yourself properly. Now, if you've got a more established business and earning, say, £5,000 a month or more, you've likely got more consistent and more predictable income and also more opportunities to reinvest for growth. Now, because of that, I typically recommend around about 30% of your average monthly income going towards your owner's pay. And of course, the more you earn, the more money that 30% becomes and the richer you're going to feel. And what this does is it allows you to still prioritize paying yourself well, but it also leaves room for things that help your business grow, like support, like marketing, like systems. Now, the key difference here is that your business isn't just supporting you now, it's being set up to support you long term. Okay, what about team costs? So team costs are things like a VA, maybe a social media manager, maybe your accountant, maybe you have a copywriter, a website developer, basically anyone you pay to support you in your business, perhaps behind the scenes. And if you're newer to business and you're earning less than that, say, £2,000 a month threshold, I don't usually recommend having a separate team budget just yet. So at this stage, support tends to be a bit more ad hoc, maybe a bit of admin help here and there. Maybe you're paying an accountant at the end of the tax year when you need one. So for now, these costs can just sit inside your general operational costs, which we'll talk a bit more about shortly. And this keeps things really simple and it avoids overcommitting to monthly expenses before your income is coming in consistently. Now, if you are a bit more established and you're earning a bit more, this is where having support really does start to make sense. So at this stage, I recommend budgeting around 25% of your average monthly income for your team costs. Now, that might feel like quite a lot of money at first, especially if you're used to doing everything yourself, but often this is the point where not having the support actually slows down your growth. And bringing in help frees up your time, it protects your energy, and it allows you to focus on the things that actually only you can do. And remember, you don't go from zero team to a full team of staff overnight. You could start with one small hire, like some part-time hours from a VA that just makes your life easier. And then you grow from there as your business grows. Now let's think about marketing costs. So marketing costs include things like ads, directory listings, for example, the BDA or nutritionist resource. It can include things like podcast production if you have one, email marketing tools, everyone should have one of those, and anything that you use specifically to get your work seen by new people. Now, if you're newer to business or you're earning under that $2,000 a month or less stage, generally recommend 0% is allocated to marketing at this stage. And that often surprises people because you're told everywhere that you must be marketing in order to grow. But early on, your most valuable marketing tools are actually your time, consistency, and visibility, and not your money. Organic marketing, like showing up on social media, networking with people who can help you, and having conversations, is usually more than enough to get your first few clients. And paying for ads too early can add pressure without actually giving you a return on that investment just yet. Now, if you're more established and you're earning that £5,000 a month or more, this is where marketing spend becomes much more useful and sustainable. So at this stage, I recommend budgeting around 25% of your average monthly income for marketing. And this allows you to intentionally amplify what's already working. So whether that's ads, whether that's podcast production, whether that's listings that consistently bring in inquiries. Now, what about CPD, like education and training? Now, I mean, business focused CPD here, not clinical stuff. Now, this includes things like business courses, coaching, mentoring, masterminds, events that you might want to go to, and anything that helps you build the business skills that we were never taught at university, like marketing, like sales. So if you're new to business and you're earning £2,000 a month or less, I actually recommend budgeting around 30% of your average monthly income here. Now, that might sound high, but early on, your biggest bottleneck usually isn't time or team. It's the knowledge and skills and confidence that you need in order to build a business. Learning how to attract clients, how to price your services properly, how to sell ethically and build visibility will move the needle far faster than most other investments at this stage. Often, this is the phase where investing in the right support can massively shorten that learning curve and stop you from spending months or even years trying to figure everything out alone. And if you're more established and earning £5,000 a month or more, I'd probably reduce this down to maybe 10% of your average monthly income. So by this stage, you've already built a foundation, and business education becomes more about refining strategy, scaling sustainably, and staying in spaces that challenge you to think bigger. Now, it's still very important, it's CPD after all, but it no longer needs to take up a huge chunk of your budget. And then last but not least, operations and other business costs. So think about all of the essentials that just keep your business ticking over, that keep it running smoothly behind the scenes. So tech tools are included in this, like your email service provider, your website hosting, any client management software that you might use, like Practice Better, or you maybe use Kajabi, as well as things like travel, accommodation, if that's relevant. So if you have an established business earning that 5K a month or more, I do recommend allocating around 10% of your average monthly income to cover these sorts of costs. However, if you're newer to business and earning less than that 2K mark or even less, this should still be around 10%, and it should also include your VA or your admin support. So when you keep this category in check, it ensures that your business can function efficiently without any surprises so that you can focus on serving your clients and growing your business. Okay, let's quickly recap those percentages. So for those of you new to business, earning less than 2K per month, aim to put 50% of your income aside towards your owner's pay, 30% into business education and training, 20% towards operating costs. And then if you're more established in business, earning £5,000 a month or more, a good structure is about 30% for owner's pay, 25% for team costs, 10% for business education and training, 25% for marketing, and 10% for operating costs. Now, if I've done my maths correctly, and I think I have, those should equal 100% when you add them up. Okay, now let's think about your sales plan, because once you know your numbers, the next step is figuring out how you're actually going to make that money.
What you need here is a detailed sales plan. A sales plan might sound a little bit intimidating or overwhelming or even complicated, but all it really is a clear roadmap for how you're going to start to turn your income goals into actual sales. So you just start by thinking about what it is you're going to sell. How much does it cost? And how many units do you need in order to sell to hit your goals? And then you can just break this down into monthly targets so it feels manageable. Then you need to think about how you're going to sell those units. So to sell, you need a plan for visibility and to generate leads to get in front of new people who might want to buy from you. Then we also need a plan for nurturing those new people, building a warm and authentic audience of people who simply become your raving fans. And then we need a plan for actually closing those sales. So a common mistake I see is thinking that just posting on social media or having a website out there is enough. But without a clear plan for visibility, for nurture and conversion, your sales will be unpredictable. You also have to consider your numbers carefully. So if we assume that 2% of your audience will buy, and this is fairly typical when we're using online marketing, we need to ask ourselves, have I got enough people in my audience to sell to in order to meet my targets? And if not, we've got to grow our audience or we've got to adjust our plan. Now, I go much deeper into how to create a concrete sales plan in my other podcast episode called Create Your 2026 Business Plan with Me in 20 Minutes. If you haven't listened to that one, then I highly suggest tuning into that after we finish today's episode. Because in that episode, I'll help you set realistic revenue goals for the year, align your offers to these goals, and plan your sales and marketing in a way that suits your energy and your life. So be sure to give that one a listen if you haven't already. Okay, there we have it. Today's episode was all about taking control of your business finances. When you structure your expenses intentionally, you're no longer hoping things will work out. Instead, you'll know exactly where your money's going, you'll know what to prioritize and what to avoid wasting money on. Hopefully now you feel clearer and more confident about your numbers and have a better idea of how to organize your income and your expenses so that your business can run sustainably and support both your life and your business growth goals. And if you want extra support in 2026 to get more clients and make your business run more smoothly without the guesswork, then I'd love to help you. There are a few new and exciting ways that we can work together this year. I've created different tiers of support within my business coaching, depending on what you need and what your budget is and what works for you. So for those of you who need a more affordable way to get started, there's the option where you can access my support and training for a more budget-friendly price. And if you want higher level support, there's options with regular weekly calls and personalized feedback on what you're doing. And you'll get more direct one-on-one time with me to really fast track your results. If you want to explore which option is right for you, then you can book a free, no pressure, no obligation 20-minute discovery call with me using the link in the show notes, or just drop me a WhatsApp or a DM on Instagram. I'm more than happy to chat, whichever method works best for you. So that's it for today. I look forward to chatting to you very soon. Bye for now.
That's it for another week. Thank you so much for joining me as we explore the abundance of strategies to help you recapture that feeling of possibility and excitement as you drive your business forwards and beyond the clinic room. If you found today's episode inspirational, then don't forget to like and subscribe to the show to stay in the loop for more valuable advice that I'm going to be sharing each week. If you want to be the first to hear about new episode releases, news and ways that I can support your business growth, then please don't forget to check out the links in the show notes, and you can also connect with me from there. Don't keep me a secret. I would be delighted if you left a review and shared this podcast with your colleagues. Until next time, bye for now.